What's good, guys? It's TSG. In today's video, we're going to be talking to another nominee for the Ethlizards Council. And with me today, I have Leigh. What's going on, my man?
Everything and anything, man. It's really a pleasure to be here, and I've watched your YouTube videos over the last 3 months or so, and I'm really enjoying them. So keep it up.
Nah, thank you so much, man. Yeah, I always love it, like, because when I do these interviews, obviously we chat beforehand, and then we start the video, and we have to do the, oh, what's up, man? Like, we haven't been talking, but now I'm excited to have you on, man. I'm excited to hear your thoughts and perspectives on all the questions prepared, especially just based on the stuff that you were telling me and how long you've been in the space. But let's not waste any time and jump straight into it. So the first question, man, is with the switch in direction for the Ethlizards DAO, now switching to a GameFi investment DAO, GameFi VC DAO, where we were proposed a structure for the council, and that structure consists of a VC role, a GameFi role, a DeFi role, and 2 whales. If you were elected, which of those roles do you think you would fulfill?
Yeah, so very good question, and I think it's a really good setup for the council.
Yeah.
I believe that listening to the community is obviously the core thing, but I sort of see my role in focused in GameFi. The reason I say that is part of my business at the moment is building a esports team.
Awesome.
So in the GameFi space, and I've also have some experience with Illuvium investing in there and some other projects as well.
Yeah. And I want to dive a little bit deeper. I want to dig a little bit deeper. How long have you been in that GameFi space for?
So in the GameFi space, more so as an investor. I've been a gamer all my life, like everyone my age. But yeah, certainly as an investor, when Illuvium first started. So that's when I really paid attention.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm slowly moving my business model and my own main business into spearing into esports. So hoping to align with Illuvium's launch.
Yep. Awesome. And actually, I'm gonna add a little bit of just an add-on to that question. It's been requested heavily by the community.
Sure.
And I want to ask, if you did get elected, how much time do you think you could actually commit to the role as a council member for the Ethlizards?
As much time as needed. So yeah, I'm in a pretty good space at the moment. So I run my business, but I do have quite a large team that I use as well. So yeah, my time is Ethlizards.
Hope
that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I'll live and breathe it until you know the stuff gets done.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm what you would call a workaholic.
Yeah. No, I think we can definitely relate on that.
Yeah.
So moving on, man, the next question I want to ask you is, this is actually going to be interesting because, again, based on what you've told me, I want to know, what is it that you look for in a project that makes you want to invest, especially considering the amount of capital we're going to have, we do have already in the Ethlizards. Making good decisions in good projects is something that obviously that's super important. So how would you come to that conclusion that it is a good investment? What are the things that you're going to look for in a project?
Yeah, like any investment, you need to know what it is that you're investing in.
Yeah.
So doing your due diligence is really important.
Yeah.
You've got to understand who the team is. You got to know their history, also their networks, but also their failures.
Yeah.
You got to find out why they failed previously, because let's face it, everyone has had failures.
Yeah.
Previously. So you want to make sure that you're doing the research, asking the right questions. And then you look at the project itself, and you've got to understand, well, does this solve a problem? You know, is it a novel idea? And who are the competitors in the space?
Yeah.
You know, understanding that, asking those questions up front is really, really important.
Yeah.
Few other things. You got to check what blockchain they're going to be using. That's huge.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, if someone said they're going to be using something like Luna now, you'd
be all in,
you'd
right?
be like, nah. You'd be all in. Yeah. You'd make that move pretty quick.
Yeah.
So checking their blockchain is also crucial, and most projects will have a very good understanding of where they're going to be positioned, especially in GameFi.
Yeah.
Immutable X is obviously a very good partner to partner with in gaming. So anyone aligning with them would be a really good pick.
Yeah.
Also security.
Okay.
That's a huge issue. So you want to make sure that the founders are transparent. They're not going to be hiding anything. You want everyone to be open and honest, and also what sort of business structure do they have? Do they have lawyers in place? Are they an actual operating business in their own country?
Yeah.
And making sure that they've got their finances secure as well.
Yeah.
As we all know, this space is pretty wild.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you've got everything secure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, I suppose that you want to make sure that what funds they're going to be wanting to raise, and what your ROI is going to be on that investment.
Yeah.
And and the vesting period. I think that's really important.
Yeah, actually, those are really, really solid and well thought out answers and things to look for. So I want to again dive in a bit deeper on that, and more not dive in deeper, but more get a summary on that. If you could summarize those things and maybe put like your top 3 things in priority, like what would be the utmost thing? Would it be the blockchain being that would be the number 1 thing that you look for, and then the team, and then so if you had to pick 3 and just like in order, what would those 3 things be? If you're able to do that.
Team, network, security.
Team,
they're the
network,
big
security.
ones.
Yep. Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
That's fair.
Yep. Network is in like, what's the team's network?
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So moving on to the next one, man. It's a 2-part question. One is more if we have a limited amount of capital, and one is we have an excess amount of capital. So focusing on the first part of that, if we come to a point in time where most of our capital is either locked away or we've made really bad investments and we have a limited amount of capital left, how would you deploy that? Would you try and like weigh the risk and take a safer option? Would you find something that you're super high conviction in and go all into that one or two? How would you propose to use that limited amount of capital if that is all we have left?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because at the end of the day, we do have limited funds to invest.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we do see return on our investment, the vault's obviously going to be much higher. But which I do foresee happening.
Yeah.
I think in this space it's really important to be patient. There's so many projects that come across founders' desks that they can actually select from. A lot of them are indie games, but some of them are AAA, and they're the ones that you really want to hang out for. The good thing about this space is you don't actually need a heck of a lot of capital to make good money.
Yeah.
So if you are in a pre-seed or a seed, you can do extremely well through very, very smart investment decisions. So it would be listening to the community. It would be understanding with the rest of the council members. You want to come to a decision. If anything comes across, say, one of the GameFi founders or DeFi founders that might be in Ethlizards, and something raises to the top, then we need to do our due diligence as a community and work out if this is something that we should invest in. So that's where I would, any small amount of ETH that we do have, you really want to be patient with.
Yep. Okay, cool. And actually, that's kind of a good way to move on to the second part of that question is, so now if we have an abundance, like you say, we've made a couple of good investments and they've done extremely well and the vault has exploded. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but I'd imagine that we wouldn't want to deploy everything we have into everything out there, because that's not good or smart, like allocation of capital. So if we had an abundance of ETH, and there was only a limited amount of good opportunities that we saw or that we thought, what would you do with the excess of capital of ETH? Would you want to like stake it? Would you want to keep it as it is? Would you want, do you have any other ideas, any other use cases for that capital there?
Yeah, I think again, patience is very key here.
Yeah.
There's multiple avenues you can go down, obviously, with DeFi. emerging. If I was staking and that we did come to that agreement with the council and it did pass, then I'd want to make sure that they've got insurance with the staking protocol.
Yeah.
And the last thing you want is, you know, for someone not to be able to be profitable in their business in CeFi and for them to take all your funds.
Yeah.
And that has happened in the past.
Yeah.
So having insurance in place really does make sense.
Yeah.
The second thing is having too much capital. It just gives you more leverage. It just gives you way more leverage on your return on investment and the percentage that you're actually in the project.
Yeah.
So most projects, when they do start, they'll have, you know, an idea of what their runway is, how many years they need to fund the project to make it successful. Yeah. With a little bit of wiggle room. So if you can fund a majority part of that and it's a very good project, then you should do quite well.
Yep. I know. Yeah, that question is a bit more of an absurd one. Just if we have a crazy amount, but it's always is something to think about, and I think it gives you guys a chance to show your perspective. And again, you answering with the patience thing, it obviously shows a lot about where your mind is at. The most important thing, if I can add something to that, is absolutely.
Just don't rush into the hype. You'll see there might be a project that's saying coming soon and whatever, but doing your due diligence is really, really important. Because otherwise you'll just get burned.
Yeah, absolutely. So goblins? No, all right, let's move on to the next question. What is your opinion on the team's decision to allow the council members to remain undoxxed? Are you for that? Would you prefer to see all council members doxxed? Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, so I think it really comes down to the individual and their circumstances. I'm not one to judge on someone that's not doxxed, because there are actually surprisingly some really, really good people in the space that do incredible things that aren't doxxed. Yeah. So, and that's been my own experience. And part of that comes through your own network as well. So making sure that you have a solid network in place that's trustworthy and honest, and you've done business together in the past. Yeah, I think that's really key. But if someone just comes out of the blue and they're not doxxed, then hey, there's some red flags there. You've got to make sure that, you know, they know the right people or they've met in real life, you know?
Yeah. That's fair. All right, man. So I've got two final questions, just a bit more lighthearted to end off.
Sure.
The first of the two is, how many lizards do you actually hold?
Well, I wish I held a lot more. Yeah. For me, it was I was just really, really cool. My biggest investment was in Illuvium. Yeah. But I've had 5 lizards go past my wallet. Cool. With the preference of just holding one. Okay. So I still hold one, and I'm really love my Ethlizard and the community. So. I'm more of a sidelines sort of person, especially when it comes to Discord. Yeah. So you may not see me in there and search my name, but by all means, I'm following on Twitter and Discord and YouTube and everything else.
Yeah. It definitely feels like you've got your finger on the pulse. And the last question, man, and that is, what is your favorite Ethlizard trait?
Laser eyes. Come on.
I love
Laser eyes all the way, man.
Laser eyes.
I think, yeah. That's me in a nutshell.
Do you have the laser eyes? Is that the one that you have?
No, I don't have laser eyes myself, but I've always liked it. But,
of course.
The other one is the floating crown as well.
The floating crown, yeah. Cool. I was talking to man, I forget. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. But yeah, no, I'm so surprised no one has said the wizard hats, man. I'm a little bit sad. Sad that no one has said the wizard hats. Yeah, man. Wow. Or the stoner eyes. They're my 2 favorites, and no one said those. Like no one has said those.
The third one for me is the red nose.
The red. Oh, that's stupid, man. I hate that one. It's so stupid. Oh man,
the one I hate is the balloon. All right,
the balloon is trash. Yeah, the balloon is trash.
Yeah,
but yeah, I shouldn't actually say that. I shouldn't say it's trash, but I mean, it's the one that I like the least.
At least.
I'll stay
Least
somewhat
favorite.
calm. Yeah, my least favorite. It's my least favorite. All right, yo, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, man. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Is it Twitter? Is it Discord? What's the best way to reach you?
Twitter is pretty good.
Mhm.
Basically, just Google my name.
Yeah.
You'll find me on most platforms. But otherwise, yeah, reach out to me on Discord. I check my DMs on a daily basis. I'm on there.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah,
Awesome.
really,
Yeah,
really excited.
yeah, me too, man. I am really excited. I'm gonna leave your Twitter handle just underneath your video here anyway, so in the video and in the description. But
Sure.
yeah, before we bounce, man, before we go, is there anything else you kind of want to leave us with? Any plug that you want to do? Anything in general?
Let's just get to the moon together.
Yeah,
That's all I
absolutely.
can say. At the end of the day, you know, I think this project has got legs, and the network effect, especially with the community of Illuvium fans, and also with Kieran involved as well, and all the other founders
Yeah.
of DeFi projects. This thing's just is going to go to the moon and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Yo, again, thank you for coming on. And for everyone that is watching, I'm going to have a playlist of all of these interviews. So stay up to date, stay informed on who you want to vote for, who you think represents your values the most. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you like this type of content, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.